Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Wilson with the Friday Night Locker Room and Space Coast Daily TV, coming to you today from the Orange County Convention Center. It is SpaceCom 2024. Today's show is brought to you by Urban Automotive and sponsored by Auto Expo 95. I'm honored today to be joined by my two guests. To my immediate left, I'd like to welcome to the show Dr. Terry Spain. Terry, always good to see you. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. I'm excited about SpaceCom, Steve.
You look like you're in your element.
I feel like it too.
All right. And to my far left, if you ever watch Space Coast Daily, any major events on the Space Coast, there's a good chance you're going to see the gentleman to my far left behind the microphone. He is Ron Lighthall. Ron, thanks for joining me. How are you?
Steve, it's an absolute pleasure to be out here with you. This is one of my favorite events, and of course, Terry and I spent a lot of time together covering football this year, but it's neat to see an event, an expo that is directly correlated with the Space Coast and how important it is for our economic engine on the Space Coast, and these are the movers and shakers that shape our future over on the Space Coast.
Yeah, we're going to go inside the exhibitors hall in just a few minutes, but Terry, this is much more than the Space Coast. We're going to see exhibits globally from literally all around the world. It's pretty exciting to think about what's behind the door we're going to see in a minute.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is my first time ever being at this event. So I know you gentlemen have been here before, so I know you told me kind of the makeup of what was expected last year. So whatever I can get this year, I'm excited and I'm anxious to see.
And Ron, you're a veteran here. This is a special place, a special time. We look beyond the camera, thousands of people here, and we're right in the heart of the space industry, living in Brevard County. But as I mentioned to Terry, this is a global gathering.
It really is, and one of the neat things that you see is the common vision and the harmony that everybody globally has about the future of space exploration, and not only the resources, but the mentality of getting there less expensive, and that ecological mindset about the future of our planet here on Earth and how it has to deal with the exploration of space.
So we're going to make our way into the exhibitors hall. We're going to show you a little bit about what's taking place here at SpaceCom 2024. We'll have the opportunity to talk to a few folks, so sit back, relax, and enjoy SpaceCom 2024. We're now joined by Ryan Brown, the Executive Director of SpaceCom. Ryan, thanks for joining me. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
I can only imagine how busy you are. I want to ask you right off the bat, a lot of us have heard of SpaceCom but might not know exactly what it is. Talk a little bit about SpaceCom.
So SpaceCom, we're about 9 years old with SpaceCom. It's a global commercial conference and exposition, commercial space conference and exposition. The goal of SpaceCom is to bring together government, industry, international agencies, to have conversations about where the commercial space industry is, where it needs to go, and how are we going to get it there. The idea is to have meetings and conversations here that are actionable and tangible that we can take away and actually make some progress between this year's event and next year's event.
We're in Orlando, Florida, but this is a global event. You have industry leaders from all over the globe, correct?
That's right. We have a number of nations represented. We have large contingents from Italy, Australia, Japan. We have a lot of nations represented here, and that's something we're trying to grow and continue to bring those allied partners over. I know it's important for the Space Force to have those allied partners here so that they can continue to expand their capabilities across the globe and their effectiveness there.
What would you like those to take away when the conference is over, they're walking out the door? What would you like them to be thinking about?
I think we'd want them to take away that from these conversations that they have here, like I said, the goal is to have action items and tangible objectives that there's a lot to go do right now. There's a lot of questions, way more questions than answers at this point. There's funding questions, there's regulatory and legislative issues. There are all kinds of things that we have to figure out if we're ever going to get to the point where we're launching every day from every spaceport. We have quite a ways to go, and it's hugely optimistic, and everybody's hopeful and knows it'll get there at some point, but there's a lot of work to do and a lot of infrastructure to build before we get to that point. And so if the conversations that folks have while they're here at Commercial Space Week lead them to that, and they make some progress between now and the 2025 event, that's what we're trying to get to.
Ryan, thanks for joining us today. I know you're a busy man on the go. Thanks for taking the time.
All right, thank you very much.
He is the Executive Director of SpaceCom, Ryan Brown. We're now joined by Ken Brace, the owner of Rapid Prototype Services. Ken, thanks for joining me. How are you, sir?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about your company.
So I own a 3D printing service where I make parts for engineers with really high-end 3D printers, able to make parts as large as 3 foot by 2 foot by 3 foot.
A lot of us here 3D, and we're still trying to wrap our mind around what all it does. Describe 3D.
So I take a 3D computer file, and turn it into a functional model for my clients. It's like a glue gun, and it squirts the plastic onto the table, and the table just keeps dropping and grows apart from the bottom up. Just the opposite of conventional manufacturing.
Now, you're based out of Brevard County, correct?
Yes, sir, in Satellite Beach.
As far as turnaround time, you hear from one of your customers and they want product XYZ. How long does it take you to do what you need to do, or does that vary?
It varies, but typically, if they give me a file today, I'll have it ready for them tomorrow. Wow. So very, very quick.
Quick turnaround. The commercialization of SpaceX going up every other day, it seems like. Has that boom affected your business?
Absolutely. Yep. I'm doing a lot of fixturing and tooling. I'm not making the flight hardware, but fixturing and tooling to support the flight hardware that they're doing.
Well, Ken, thanks for joining us today, and good luck here. This is day one at SpaceCom. Exciting day, tremendous crowd. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We're now joined by Mike Malinowski, Director of the Space Enterprise Consortium. Mike, thanks for joining me. How are you, sir?
Happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your organization.
Space Enterprise Consortium is a other transactional authority. The OTA that we manage, our primary customer is Space Systems Command, and we deliver space prototype capabilities.
How important is it for you all to be here today at SpaceCom?
It's great for us to see a lot of the non-traditional space companies that support the space ecosystem, and 70% of the membership in the Space Enterprise Consortium is small businesses and not non-traditionals.
What's something that might surprise the general public as far as what you do?
I think it's just speed and demand for space capabilities. So the ability to understand the government's requirement and get that on contract as quickly as possible.
For years and years, it was NASA, and that was basically it. Now with the commercialization, SpaceX going up every other day, it seems like. How has that impacted your business?
Definitely a little bit of a shift maybe from a traditional defense model to a more commercial model. And then how do you leverage the investment that the commercial industry is making to benefit the space customers?
Now, if someone is watching this interview and they'd like to get in touch with you to find out a little bit more, how would they do that?
They can go to the NSTXL website, nstxl.org, and there's a membership page on there where they can see all of the information on all of the OTAs.
Mike Malinowski, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for the interview. Thanks.
Yes, sir. We're now joined by Rob Long, the President and CEO of Space Florida. Rob, first, thanks for joining us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing really well. It's a great day.
What an exciting day, an exciting time. For those that may not be familiar with Space Florida, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of Space Florida, Rob Long, and we are the state's finance and development, business development authority. for the aerospace industry. And so we are out there working with our aerospace industry partners on trying to grow that industry here in the state of Florida.
How important is it for you all to be here at SpaceCom?
You know, SpaceCom is one of those events that brings together, you know, the population that is, you know, very focused on space, and it brings together a lot of industry partners, government partners, and it really provides an opportunity for us to all get together kind of in one place and have a lot of good discussions. And of course, the topics that they're talking about are really right within the areas that we're focused on.
You know, this is such an exciting time in the space industry with the commercialization of space. How has that affected Space Florida?
You know, this is a booming time for sure. I mean, we're seeing, you know, really accelerating growth in the industry right now. And for us specifically, you know, it's all about maintaining the pace of that growth and helping industry grow in a great partnership. And so we're really focused on doing everything we can to keep that pace up.
Is there something that might surprise the general public as far as Space Florida is concerned about what you do?
I think, you know, for us in Space Florida, oftentimes, you know, we're very much associated with the Space Coast, which, you know, is certainly a critical node in what we do. But we really have that statewide purview, and the number of projects that we're working on that span the entire state. We're at like 150 right now, and many of those are all the way from the Panhandle all the way to South Florida. So you know, we really have that statewide focus.
Well, Rob, thanks for joining us. He is Rob Long, the President and CEO of Space Florida. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, some of the sights and sounds from SpaceCom 2024, the first day. Dr. Terry Spain, welcome back first, sir. Always good to see you.
Likewise, Steve, I had an amazing time today.
Yeah, what a special day here at the Orange County Convention Center. Just thousands of people here, the vendors, just everything went like clockwork.
Yeah, I mean, all the exhibits that you had the opportunity to interact with a lot of these folks, and it goes to show you how important space is and how serious people are really taking this whole space evolution, which is what I really like.
Yeah, and you heard from a lot of individuals and companies based on the Space Coast, but this truly is a global event. Terry, there are individuals and corporations and companies from all over the world.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet people from the Washington, D.C. area, along with other locations that support the space mission. So it was a great day. It was a great event, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, they do a terrific job here. So we're going to shut things down on this end, Terry. I'm going to ask you for your final thoughts.
Well, Steve, I had an opportunity to go to space today. As you know, we and I had a chance to you know, actually participate in the simulation that they had there. But honestly, I would tell you all this. For those who have not had an opportunity to either go to the Kennedy Space Center or just get involved in space, this is a great time to get excited about being in space and what they're trying to do and all these companies are trying to do to get us back to the moon, essentially.
Yeah. My final thoughts are this. You know, we live on the Space Coast. We're fortunate to be where we are. We see launches almost every day, it seems like.
Yes.
But today showed, if nothing else, that the space industry truly is a global industry. Terry just talked about meeting some individuals from D.C. They're people we met from all over the world, from out of the country. So a very special day today, and SpaceCom goes through Thursday here at the Orange County Convention Center. So for my broadcasting partner today, Dr. Terry Spain, for all of our sponsors, including Urban Automotive and Auto Expo 95, I'm Steve Wilson with the Friday Night Locker Room and Space Coast Daily TV. We'll see you next time.
Get your business launched with Space Coast Daily through spacecoastdaily.com, Space Coast Daily social media, in print with Space Coast Daily newspaper and the magazine, as well as email blasts and the mobile app, and also at Space Coast Daily events. You can reach new customers every day. Get launched with Space Coast Daily and take your business to new heights. Call 321-323-4460 today.